Have you ever felt a pang of fear, a subtle yet chilling premonition that the world is slowly dimming around you? This feeling often begins not with a dramatic failure of sight, but with small, insidious betrayals. Perhaps it is the vibrant crimson of a sunset that now appears merely as a muted wash of orange, or the intricate tapestry of leaves on a distant tree that has collapsed into a single blurry mass of green. Maybe the cherished faces of your loved ones are losing their sharp, familiar edges, their smiles and expressions becoming harder to decipher from across a room. The simple, profound pleasure of losing yourself in a book transforms into a frustrating chore, the words swimming on the page, demanding an exhausting level of focus that ultimately saps the joy from the experience. For countless generations, we have been indoctrinated with a simple yet utterly devastating narrative that this gradual fading of our vision is an unavoidable, non-negotiable, and entirely natural consequence of growing older. We have been systematically conditioned to accept this decline as a fact of life, as certain as the rising of the sun. We've been led to believe, by society and even by well-meaning practitioners, that our only recourse lies in a predetermined and depressing path of escalating interventions, thicker and thicker glasses, ever stronger prescriptions that seem to offer only temporary respite, and eventually the daunting prospect of invasive surgeries that carry their own risks and anxieties. But what if that entire story, that deeply ingrained belief system that has sentenced millions to a future of compromised sight, is fundamentally flawed? What if it is not a story of truth, but a convenient and profitable lie? What if the gradual, heartbreaking theft of your eyesight has far less to do with the number of candles on your birthday cake and everything to do with a silent, hidden, and relentless enemy that is methodically ravaging the delicate tissues of your eyes from within, an enemy that we now have the power to identify and to fight? The profound truth, a truth that has been conveniently buried and obscured by a multi-billion-dollar ophthalmological and optical industry that thrives on managing your decline rather than fostering your recovery, is that for millions of seniors, the relentless march of vision loss is not an inevitability but a direct consequence of two primary, often overlooked culprits: chronic, low-grade inflammation and critical nutrient deficiencies that your body is never adequately warned about. Imagine for a moment a slow, invisible fire, a persistent smoldering that generates no heat you can feel and no smoke you can see, but which is nevertheless burning away at the delicate, irreplaceable tissues of your retina day after day, year after year. This is the reality of chronic inflammation. Now picture the intricate machinery of your eye, a biological marvel that requires a specific set of raw materials to build, repair, and protect itself. Imagine that a crucial building block for maintaining crystal clear sight, a vital nutrient that acts as a foundational component for cellular health, is simply missing from your daily diet. The entire system begins to falter, sputter, and break down. Shocking new research, often ignored or dismissed by many mainstream practitioners who are trained primarily in pharmacological and surgical solutions, is revealing a paradigm-shifting reality. This destructive process is not just treatable, it might in many cases be demonstrably reversible. There exist in nature simple yet extraordinarily powerful nutritional powerhouses hidden in plain sight within our food supply that can directly fortify your eyes, arming them with the antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds needed to fight back against this insidious damage and protect the precious, irreplaceable gift of sight. This is not about espousing unsubstantiated miracle cures or mystical remedies. It is about the fundamental, undeniable science of giving your body the essential tools it has been systematically starved of for decades. We are now about to unveil the scientifically backed seeds that hold the key to protecting, preserving, and in some cases, even restoring your vision, starting with the unsung heroes of the natural world and building to the one with the most powerful, clinically proven, and life-changing results of all. It is remarkably easy to dismiss the humble sunflower seed as nothing more than a simple, salty ballpark snack or a casual topping for a summer salad, a food item so common that its profound medicinal value is almost completely overlooked. However, nestled within its unassuming black and white striped shell is an extraordinary and potent guardian for aging eyes. These small, satisfyingly crunchy kernels are one of nature's most abundant and bioavailable sources of vitamin E, a fat-soluble antioxidant that acts as a dedicated personal bodyguard for the fragile cells that make up your eyes. To truly grasp its importance, one must first understand the destructive process of oxidative stress. Think of it as a form of relentless biological rust. Throughout your life, unstable molecules known as free radicals are generated as byproducts of normal metabolism, and their production is accelerated by exposure to environmental toxins, pollution, and especially ultraviolet light from the sun. These volatile molecules desperately seek to stabilize themselves by stealing electrons from healthy cells, causing a chain reaction of damage. The retina, the delicate light-sensitive screen at the very back of your eye that converts light into the neural signals your brain interprets as vision, is exceptionally susceptible to this kind of oxidative damage. It has an incredibly high metabolic rate and is constantly exposed to focused light, making it a hotbed for free radical activity. As these crucial retinal cells are attacked and weakened by oxidative stress over decades, your world can literally become dimmer and less defined, making it progressively harder to discern details, distinguish contrasts, and see clearly, especially in low light conditions. This is the very process that underpins the development of conditions like age-related macular degeneration, AMD. Herein lies the formidable power of the sunflower seed. The vitamin E it contains is a master antioxidant that selflessly sacrifices itself, neutralizing free radicals before they can inflict their damage on the lipid-rich membranes of your retinal cells. A landmark, long-term study, the Age-Related Eye Disease Study, AREDS, published in the prestigious Archives of Ophthalmology, revealed that individuals with a high dietary intake of key antioxidants, including vitamin E, had a remarkable 25% lower risk of their macular degeneration progressing to advanced, vision-threatening stages. This is not a trivial statistic. It represents a significant protective shield. Consider the transformative story of Muhammad, a 67-year-old retired civil engineer who came to us with a deep sense of despair. His peripheral vision had grown increasingly blurry and unreliable, transforming the simple act of driving after sunset into a terrifying ordeal of glare, shadows, and uncertainty. He had all but surrendered his nighttime independence. A thorough review of his diet quickly revealed an almost complete absence of significant vitamin E sources. We recommended a simple, easily incorporated daily habit: 2 tablespoons of raw, unsalted sunflower seeds sprinkled over his lunchtime salad. Within just 2 months, the change was not merely noticeable, it was profoundly life-altering. His night vision improved so dramatically that he confidently reclaimed the freedom of driving after dusk, a simple liberty he had sadly given up over a year prior. For Mahmoud, this small daily ritual became a powerful, proactive act of self-care, and his follow-up optical coherence tomography (OCT) scans confirmed what he was experiencing firsthand: a measurable reduction in the markers of oxidative damage and drusen accumulation in his retinas. Often celebrated in health circles primarily for their exceptionally high magnesium content, which is vital for muscle function and nerve health, pumpkin seeds possess a hidden superpower that makes them one of the most underrated yet critically important protectors of the retina, the essential mineral zinc. This mineral functions as a crucial and irreplaceable gatekeeper for your vision, playing a logistical role that is absolutely central to the eye's defense system. Zinc acts as a vital shuttle bus, a specialized transport mechanism responsible for carrying vitamin A from its storage depot in your liver directly to the retina at the back of your eye. Without adequate zinc, this entire delivery system grinds to a halt, and the vitamin A remains locked away in the liver, unable to reach the tissue that needs it most. Once it arrives in the retina, thanks to zinc, this vitamin A is then used to produce melanin, a protective pigment that concentrates in a layer behind the photoreceptor cells. This melanin shield acts like a pair of powerful built-in sunglasses, guarding the delicate retinal structures against the damaging effects of high-energy ultraviolet rays from the sun, the harsh, short-wavelength blue light emitted from our ever-present digital screens, and the general cumulative wear and tear of a lifetime of seeing. When your zinc levels are chronically low, this entire protective pigmentation system is compromised, leaving your retina exposed, vulnerable, and far more susceptible to the photo damage that accelerates age-related decline. Alarmingly, subclinical zinc deficiency is incredibly common in the aging population, affecting a significant percentage of adults over the age of 60. This is often due to a combination of factors, including dietary restrictions that limit zinc-rich foods like red meat and shellfish, a natural age-related decline in the body's ability to efficiently absorb minerals from food, and the effects of certain common medications. The consequences of this deficiency are starkly illustrated by major clinical research. The aforementioned age-related eye disease study, AREDS, also found that seniors who supplemented with zinc as part of a specific antioxidant formula had a 21% lower likelihood of their intermediate macular degeneration, progressing to an advanced sight-robbing stage. This isn't just an abstract statistic. For someone watching their world blur, it is a lifeline. Take the moving case of Lillian, a 74-year-old former elementary school teacher whose greatest joy and lifelong passion was getting lost in the world of a good book. She described her fading central vision with heartbreaking clarity, saying it was like trying to read through a permanent blurry cloud. We discovered through testing that her zinc levels were critically low. Instead of immediately resorting to isolated mineral pills, which can sometimes interfere with the absorption of other nutrients like copper, we suggested she incorporate a quarter cup of raw pumpkin seeds into her daily morning oatmeal. This simple, natural addition provided a potent, food-based boost of zinc along with other synergistic nutrients. Over the course of 3 months, the progression of her vision loss not only stabilized, but she began to notice a tangible improvement. The cloud, she reported with delight, had begun to lift. She no longer needed a powerful, high-magnification magnifying glass to enjoy her beloved novels. More than just seeing words on a page again, she regained a core piece of her identity, her confidence, and her joy, even feeling inspired enough to start tutoring local children in reading once more. Do not be fooled for a single moment by their diminutive size. The profound and multifaceted benefits that chia seeds deliver to your eyes are truly massive. Their primary and most celebrated gift is an exceptionally rich concentration of omega-3 fatty acids, specifically a plant-based form known as alpha-linolenic acid, ALA. This powerful compound is a master at combating the chronic, low-grade inflammation that has been definitively identified by modern research as a silent and relentless saboteur of long-term retinal health. This particular type of inflammation is especially insidious because it operates under the radar. It often comes with no discernible pain, redness, or any of the obvious symptoms we typically associate with inflammation. Yet it quietly and methodically erodes the health of the macula, the small but vital part of your retina responsible for the sharp, detailed central vision required for nearly every important task in life. From reading the fine print on a prescription bottle and driving safely to recognizing the subtle expressions on the faces of those you love, this slow, simmering, inflammatory burn can lead directly to retinal thinning, persistent and irritating dryness, and even the leakage of fluid from the fragile, inflamed blood vessels that nourish the retina, all of which are direct contributors to progressive and often irreversible vision loss. What makes chia seeds even more remarkable and elevates them to elite status among vision-supporting foods is their potent dual-action capability. In addition to their profoundly anti-inflammatory omega-3 content, they are also densely packed with two critical antioxidants, lutein and zeaxanthin. These specific carotenoid compounds are unique in that, after being consumed, they are absorbed from the bloodstream and deposited directly into the macular tissue of the retina, Here they accumulate and function exactly like a pair of internal sunglasses, forming what is known as the macular pigment. This pigment has the specific physical property of filtering out harmful, high-energy blue and ultraviolet light waves before they can ever reach and damage the sensitive photoreceptor cells beneath. We witnessed this incredible power firsthand with Nancy, a 70-year-old seamstress whose lifelong passion for creating intricate embroidery was being cruelly thwarted by her failing eyesight. Her optical coherence tomography (OCT) scans showed clear signs of macular inflammation and the beginnings of drusen deposits, and she suffered from constant, maddening dry eye irritation that made close work nearly impossible. After a dietary analysis revealed her diet was almost completely devoid of any significant sources of omega-3s, we suggested a simple change: adding 2 tablespoons of soaked chia seeds, which forms a gel, making them easy to digest, to her morning smoothie. The results within just 6 weeks were astonishing. Her debilitating dry eye symptoms had subsided so dramatically that she no longer needed to constantly apply artificial tears. Even more thrilling for her, she told us with tears of joy that the fine, colorful threads and complex patterns of her embroidery were becoming crisp, distinct, and clear again. She had regained not just her functional vision, but the freedom to practice her art, the very thing that gave her life meaning and purpose. While also celebrated as an omega-3 powerhouse, much like its cousin the chia seed, the flax seed offers a unique and highly specific benefit that sets it apart and makes it an indispensable tool in our ocular health arsenal: profound and targeted support for the tear film. This microscopic, multi-layered film of moisture that constantly coats the surface of your eye is far more than just a lubricant. It is your absolute first line of defense against the outside world, protecting the cornea from dust, debris, and pathogens, while also providing a perfectly smooth optical surface necessary for clear, undistorted vision. As we age, and also due to hormonal changes and environmental factors, this critical protective film can become unstable. The delicate glands in our eyelids, known as meibomian glands, which produce the essential oily outer layer of the tear film, can become inflamed and clogged. This leads to a deficiency in the oil that is meant to prevent the watery layer of our tears from evaporating. As a result, the tear film evaporates far too quickly, leading to a cascade of debilitating problems: chronically dry, gritty, burning, and irritated eyes that result in persistently blurry and fluctuating vision. This condition, known as evaporative dry eye, is one of the most common complaints among older adults. Flax seeds work their magic by directly addressing the root cause of this issue. The omega-3 fatty acids they contain are converted in the body to powerful anti-inflammatory molecules that calm the inflammation on the ocular surface and within the meibomian glands themselves. This in turn improves the quality and flow of the natural oils, lipids, in your tears, which helps to stabilize the tear film, lock in moisture, and keep your eyes comfortable, lubricated, and optically clear for longer periods. The results of this intervention can be staggering. A rigorous clinical study published in the peer-reviewed journal Cornea found that senior patients who consume flaxseed oil daily reported a remarkable 42% improvement in their dry eye symptoms and a measurable increase in tear film stability in just 1 month. To make this nutrient fully bioavailable, it is absolutely crucial to consume flax seeds in their ground form. The hard outer hull of whole seeds is resistant to digestion, meaning they often pass through the body completely intact, with their precious oils locked inside. This was the simple but transformative key for Youssef, a 69-year-old retired school bus driver. For decades, his eyes had been his most trusted and vital tool. In his retirement, he found himself plagued by an intense grittiness and dryness that would set in by early afternoon, forcing him to squint just to watch television, and making reading for pleasure an impossibility. Over-the-counter eye drops offered only fleeting, momentary relief from the discomfort. We introduced a single, simple habit: 1 tablespoon of freshly ground flax seeds stirred into his daily bowl of yogurt. Within just 2 weeks, he noticed a significant and welcome decrease in the gritty discomfort. After a full month, he joyfully reported that he no longer even thought about reaching for his eye drops at all. For him, this tiny golden brown seed restored a fundamental piece of his daily comfort, allowing him to fully enjoy his well-earned retirement without the constant nagging distraction of irritated, blurry eyes. Revered in traditional Asian medicine for centuries as a superfood for longevity, vitality, and health, black sesame seeds are a formidable and scientifically validated ally in the fight to preserve eye health well into our senior years. Their unique power lies in an incredibly dense and synergistic concentration of key nutrients, including vitamin B1, thiamine, zinc, and a pair of potent, unique antioxidants called sesamin and sesamolin, which belong to a class of beneficial fibers known as lignans. These specific compounds are particularly effective at protecting and strengthening the vast and intricate network of tiny blood vessels, or microvasculature, that supplies the retina with the immense amount of oxygen and nutrients it requires to function. This microcirculatory health is especially critical in preventing or slowing the progression of conditions like diabetic retinopathy, which has become a leading cause of preventable blindness in seniors worldwide. Diabetic retinopathy is caused directly by the damage that high and fluctuating blood sugar levels inflict on these fragile retinal capillaries, making them weak, leaky, and prone to bleeding and scarring, which ultimately destroys retinal tissue. Black sesame seeds help mount a powerful defense by improving the health and integrity of this delicate microcirculation, while also helping to mitigate the damaging post-meal blood sugar spikes that inflict so much of the initial damage to the vessel walls. The robust science of today is now confirming this ancient wisdom. A compelling study published in the Journal of Medicinal Food demonstrated that regular consumption of a black sesame seed supplement led to demonstrably improved retinal vascular function and a significant reduction in systemic oxidative stress markers in just 6 weeks. This provides a clear biological mechanism for their protective effects. Consider the poignant case of Amenta, a 72-year-old tailor who was diagnosed with early-stage diabetic retinopathy. Despite her best efforts to manage her blood sugar through diet and medication, she was terrified by the sudden appearance of dark floaters and a mild but deeply unsettling distortion in her central vision. Her greatest fear was losing the sharp, precise sight upon which her beloved craft and her livelihood depended entirely. Alongside her standard medical care, we introduced a simple nightly ritual, a single spoonful of roasted black sesame seeds eaten as a small snack before bed. The results were deeply encouraging. After 8 weeks of this consistent practice, her follow-up eye scans showed a visible reduction in retinal swelling, macular edema, and she reported that the distracting and anxiety-inducing floaters were far less frequent and pronounced. She felt a profound and renewed sense of hope, amazed and empowered that something so simple, so ancient, and so natural could provide a tangible additional layer of protection, helping her to hold on to the precious vision she had feared was irrevocably slipping away. Hemp seeds, often misunderstood due to their association with other varieties of the cannabis plant, offer something truly special and increasingly vital for modern eye health. A rich and perfectly balanced supply of essential fatty acids, including a rare type of omega-6 fatty acid known as gamma-linolenic acid, GLA. This is critically important because, unlike most other omega-6 fatty acids, which can be pro-inflammatory when consumed in excess, GLA is unique in that it actively promotes the production of anti-inflammatory prostaglandins in the body. This specific anti-inflammatory action is of paramount importance for protecting one of the most vital and uniquely vulnerable parts of your entire visual system, the optic nerve. You can think of the optic nerve as the main data cable connecting your eye to your brain, a dense, complex bundle of over 1 million individual nerve fibers responsible for transmitting every single image you see. When this crucial nerve becomes inflamed or damaged, a process that is central to the progression of glaucoma, vision can begin to fade away, typically starting from the outside and working its way in, creating a terrifying and disorienting tunnel vision effect. The most frightening aspect of glaucoma is that this damage often occurs silently and painlessly, with no warning signs until a significant and irreversible amount of vision has already been lost. Emerging and exciting research is now showing that GLA can play a significant role in defending this essential neurological structure. A compelling study published in the journal Current Eye Research found that supplementation with GLA alongside other key nutrients helped to improve blood flow to the optic nerve head and demonstrably slowed the rate of its structural damage in seniors with or at risk for glaucoma by as much as 28% over a 90-day period. This powerful protective effect gave a new and much-needed sense of control to Elias, a 75-year-old former newspaper editor whose entire life and identity had been built around the printed word. Diagnosed with early-stage glaucoma, he was haunted by the prospect of his world literally narrowing before his eyes. We recommended he add 2 tablespoons of soft, nutty, shelled hemp seeds, often called hemp hearts, to his daily breakfast cereal or yogurt. While his prescribed medicated eye drops were essential for managing the intraocular pressure, the hemp seeds gave him a proactive role in his own health, allowing him to build a stronger defense from the inside out. After 2 months of this simple addition, his visual field tests and nerve fiber layer scans showed that the progression of his optic nerve thinning had thankfully slowed. More importantly, he felt he was no longer just a passive patient, helplessly waiting for the disease to advance, but an active participant in the daily fight for his sight, a psychological shift that was just as valuable as the physiological one. We now arrive at the absolute pinnacle of natural vision support, the one substance backed by the most dramatic, consistent, and exciting scientific results for age-related eye conditions. Saffron, or more precisely, the dried, deep red stigmas of the Crocus sativus flower, contains 2 of the most powerful and unique carotenoid compounds ever studied for vision preservation: crocin and quercetin. These extraordinary antioxidants perform a truly remarkable and near magical feat. Within the eye, they directly target and rejuvenate the photoreceptor cells in the retina. These are the highly specialized cells, the rods and cones, that are responsible for the very magic of sight itself, converting photons of light into the complex electrical signals that your brain interprets as cohesive, colorful, and detailed images. In devastating conditions like age-related macular degeneration, AMD, both the dry and wet forms, these essential cells progressively wither, malfunction, and ultimately die, leading to the heartbreaking loss of central vision. This creates the characteristic blurry or dark spots right in the middle of a person's visual field, making it impossible to read, drive, or see the faces of loved ones. But here is the truly groundbreaking and hope-inspiring discovery that sets saffron apart from all other natural compounds. Clinical studies have repeatedly shown that it doesn't just protect these photoreceptor cells from further damage, it can actually help restore their function and measurably improve their sensitivity to light. A landmark, double-blind, placebo-controlled clinical trial published in the prestigious British Journal of Ophthalmology found that patients with early-stage AMD who took a standardized 20 ml saffron supplement daily experienced significant, statistically relevant improvements in their visual acuity in as little as 3 months. Their vision didn't just stop getting worse, it actually demonstrably started to get better. The most emotional and powerful testament to this incredible power came from Abraham, a 79-year-old retired painter who had spent his entire life immersed in the world of color, light, and form. He came to us in a state of deep despair, as dry AMD was aggressively stealing the center of his world, turning human faces into indistinct blurs and the vibrant masterpieces he once adored into meaningless smudges. His doctors had offered no hope, telling him only to prepare for the inevitable and total loss of his central vision. On the persistent advice of his daughter, who had read the research, he began taking a daily 20 ml capsule of a high-quality, standardized saffron extract. Within just 6 weeks, he noticed the first flicker of change. He could once again see the intricate geometric details on his prayer mat. A month later, a moment of pure joy arrived when he realized he could clearly see his young grandson's bright smile from across the living room. At his 3-month follow-up appointment with his ophthalmologist, his retinal scans confirmed what his heart already knew. The electrical response of his retinas, as measured by a focal electroretinogram, had significantly improved. With tears of profound gratitude in his eyes, he told us, "I truly thought my world was going dark forever. Saffron helped my eyes see the light again." This precious and potent spice, when taken not just as a culinary seasoning, but as a genuine lab-tested supplement to ensure the correct dosage of crocin and crocatin, may represent the closest thing we currently have to a natural, non-invasive method for regenerating retinal function and turning back the clock on certain forms of age-related vision loss. You now possess the knowledge that has been kept from so many for so long. You understand that the narrative of inevitable visual decline is not the whole truth. The power to save, protect, and even reclaim your precious eyesight may not lie exclusively in a prescription pad or a sterile surgical suite, but in the profound, scientifically validated, and deeply accessible nourishment found within these 7 remarkable seeds. This knowledge is not intended to replace or contradict the essential guidance of your trusted medical doctor, but rather to empower you, to give you a new set of tools to work with, to transform you from a passive recipient of a diagnosis into an active, informed participant in your own ocular health. Imagine the deep satisfaction of fortifying your eyes from within, day by day, giving them the very building blocks and defensive compounds they desperately need to defend themselves against the onslaught of aging and environmental stress. Imagine the simple, unadulterated joy of once again reading a menu with ease in a dimly lit restaurant, of confidently recognizing a dear friend from down the street, of navigating your home and your world with a renewed sense of confidence because your vision is sharp, stable, and reliable once more. This is not some far-fetched wishful thinking. It is the fundamental promise of biochemistry and nutritional science. The slow, insidious decline of vision does not wait for a convenient time to accelerate its assault. And now that you know what is truly possible, now that you are armed with this powerful truth, neither should you. The journey to better sight does not require a radical, overwhelming overhaul of your entire life. It begins with a single, manageable step. Start with just one of these seeds. Choose the one that resonates most with your personal health concerns. Add a spoonful of ground flax to your yogurt, a handful of pumpkin seeds to your snack time, or a sprinkle of hemp hearts on your salad. Make that one simple change and make it a consistent habit starting today. Your future self and the vibrant world your eyes will continue to see will thank you for years to come.